Hi everyone, I'm coming back on to do a little talk. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, Susie Q did a video where she talked about her childhood pets and pets that she's had as a adult. And then Suzanne of Suzanne's Babies talked about hers. So I think it originated with Susie Q, but if I'm wrong, I apologize to whoever actually started it. So here I go. When I was a child, I did not have any pets until I was about 10 years old. And my most favorite pet that we had was a dog named Lady. And she was part collie, part German Shepherd. Her coat was like gray and white. She kind of looked more like a German Shepherd than she did a collie. But she had the best personality. My sisters and I, we just absolutely loved her. And for a while, we had a dog named Tramp, and he was part Cocker Spaniel. I'm not sure what the rest of him was, but he was a cutie. And we had a few chickens, but I don't think we paid much attention to them. And we had horses, and we used to ride in gymkhanas, which is Western riding. And it was really hilarious because during the week, my sisters and I could go out to the pasture and we could walk up to the horses and pet them and get on their backs and, just do anything with them. And then come Sunday morning, it would be time to get ready to go to the horse shows. And we would go out to the pasture with my dad, and as soon as the horses would see my dad, they would just start running. They'd run through the pasture, they'd run through not the house, through the woods, and it could take like half an hour to catch them. And it was just so funny because my dad would get so frustrated with the horses. And, so those were my childhood pets. And I think maybe what I'll do is I'll sit down to do the rest of it so that I'm not making anybody dizzy. So here we go. I'll sit down. You can look at my doll Charming. And then when I was adult and I got married to my husband, we had various different cats. A cat whose name was her name was Baby, and she used to love to go in the car for car rides. She'd get to the car before you could get to the car. I've had various dogs, English Shepherds, which they kind of look like a Border Collie. They're herding dogs. They're not very common. My first English Shepherd was a dog named Caitlin. She was like 6 months old when we got her. And she was the best dog. She was my heart dog. People would see her out in public, and one lady told me that face had made her day. My youngest daughter, Kate, who was Shawnee's mom, used to say that Caitlin was a person trapped in a dog's body. She was just the best. She was just such a sweetheart. And I had a dog named Ellie, who was an English Shepherd. And then I've had my dog Hope, who many of you had seen in my videos. She passed away a year ago in December. And my dog Caleb, who was actually Hope's nephew, he passed away in October. And we had a cat named Cody, who you have seen in my videos. And he was a Burman. And probably about a year after I got him, he got sick. And we kept him going with medicine for a couple of years. And then at one point my daughter took him to work with her, and he ended up on more medication. And then a month before we lost him, last June, maybe it was 3 weeks, she took him back in, and it showed that his liver was going. And I loved that cat, Cody. I named him because I don't know if anybody's ever seen the show called Dural Survival. And it's usually two guys and they're out in the wilderness and they have to survive together and cooperate with each other. And one of the shows, it had one of the guys, his name was Cody Ledeen. He had long, I think it was long yellow hair, and he always was barefoot. No socks, no shoes, no boots, and it didn't matter whether they were walking through snow or what they were walking through. He always was barefoot. And so when I got my cat, Cody, when I got my cat, his name was actually Diesel, and I changed it to Cody because that name, I really, really like that name. And I've had other cats. His name was Sam. He was just a regular yellow cat. I named him for Sam Gamgee in Tolkien's books. I think Sam in those books was the best example of a friend. And now for cats, I have Abby, when she's a great kitty. I think I've shown her in videos before. And I have Mr. Muffin, who you have seen in videos. I call him Muffin. Everybody else calls him Boris because they say he's quite the character. So he responds to the name Muffin, and he will respond to the name Boris. And I think that's just about. Oh, and I have two bunnies. One's name is Benjamin, and the other one's name is Flopsy. And I have only 3 chickens right now. And I did have goats, but I don't have any goats now. We might possibly get some new goats at some point. I know that Beth maybe has a pregnant goat, and so Beth is really looking forward to them being, hopefully she'll have twins. And May will get to bottle feed the babies. So I think that's just about it. I hope that I've remembered everything. The one thing about Muffin right now, he's really, really lonely. He walks around and he cries all the time. He cries in the middle of the night. He stomps around on the floor. I think he's really missing the dogs. So I'm going to let you go, and I hope that I haven't made anybody dizzy. And I will have 2 videos for you tomorrow. One where May is going to introduce you all to somebody. And the other one, hopefully, like I said in my other video, hopefully it's going to be very cute. And so I will let you go. Bye, everybody.